What's up, everyone? Welcome to this new podcast series that I like to call Why Do You Work Out, hosted by James Anastasiadis. My name is James Anastasiadis. I am your host, and the reason why I started this new podcast vlog series is because I want to discuss and find out why people start to work out. There's so many different reasons why people work out. I've talked to countless people and I've just kind of seen why, and I find it very interesting why people start their workouts, or why they start their fitness journey, or why they just start going to the gym all of a sudden. We're here to discuss all of those topics and just kind of bring a community together of different personalities, but all centered around one very similar thing, which is working out. So, without further ado, welcome to your first episode with me. What's up, everyone? It's your host, James Anastasiadis, and I am here to discuss why I started working out. So I'm going to give you guys a little bit of the rundown of how this podcast series is going to start, how the format's going to be, and if you want to be on it, please DM me or shoot me an email, text me. I would love to discuss with you why you started working out. I think it's very interesting why we all start working out, and like I said in the intro, I just want to bring this community together, because a lot of times we could be intimidated by people in the gym. We go in and don't really talk to each other, but we're all in there for the same reason. We're all in there for a similar goal, but why we started can be completely different. So I would just love to hear everyone's story. So this is my story. So the way that this is going to work out, we're going to have an intro, a base, and an exit. Within the intro, my name is James Anastasia, as I mentioned before. I am from Cyprus. Cyprus is a little island in the Eastern Mediterranean. I grew up in Limassol, and I moved to the United States at the age of 16 to finish off my senior year of high school and get recruited for volleyball. Growing up, I played 3 sports mainly. I played soccer, basketball, and then I had to quit both of those to pursue my passion, which was volleyball. I picked up volleyball my freshman year of high school, and it was love at first sight, and I never looked back. I did play volleyball at the Division I level in college for the University of Hawaii. I played there for 5 years. I redshirted my freshman year. I was given the chance to come back for my COVID year. Decided not to take it because I knew I did not want to play professional volleyball, and I was ready to move on with my career. I wanted to focus on school, and I wanted to focus on my career. I started my master's in athletic training. Decided that that wasn't the way I wanted to stay involved around sports. When I was at practice, I just found myself a lot more interested in the performance side of sports rather than the injury side, injury prevention, and injury rehabilitation side. I am so thankful that I did my 1 year in athletic training, though, because I did learn a lot. I'm thankful for all my mentors, and it's something that I'm going to carry on into my performance aspect of sports, is try to prevent as many injuries as possible, as well as trying to create the best athletes that we can. Do I still play sports? That's one of my questions. So I do still play beach volleyball and indoor volleyball whenever I can. It's not as competitively indoor as it was when it was in college. I do miss that drive, but you know, I am so happy and so thankful for all my experiences that I had while I was at the University of Hawaii, that I was ready to let go. I was ready to move on, and I knew that I wasn't going to have that adrenaline of walking out in the huddles anymore, walking to practice every day, grinding with all my brothers. But, you know, I still try to play as much beach volleyball as I can. I've always had a huge passion for beach volleyball, and I'm trying to pursue that now. Obviously, it's not a main goal to make it a profession, but whenever I can compete, I love to do it. So going more into the base of why we have this podcast is, why did I start working out in the first place? So I started working out at the age of 15. And why I started working out was 100% because of my sport and the performance. When I was training with the Cypriot national team for volleyball, my head coach thought it would be a great idea to incorporate a 3 times a week strength and conditioning regimen, along with our 5 times a week of personal training that we were doing. And when I say personal training, I mean one-on-one volleyball training. And I fell in love. You know, those newbie gains are real. You start to gain a lot of strength very quick. You start to improve a lot more on the court because you're taking care of a lot more things off the court. So I fell in love with fitness and training. It was something that I found a huge passion for. I do really love it. And now I work out for completely different reasons, but I'm going to take you along why I work out in my little fitness journey. So I obviously started for performance reasons, and then obviously my physique started to change, fell in love with that. So I obviously did it a little more than I was with my personal trainer back at home in the national team. We had a little gym at home, so I'd start working out with a couple of my buddies, kind of do the meathead workouts, and those were super fun, but I also fell in love with kind of CrossFit and circuit training. I loved working out because it made me feel strong. It obviously helped my endurance a lot, and it helped me look good. I felt very confident in myself at that age. I felt like I looked great. I had a lot of muscle tone, so I just kind of fell in love with working out all in all for all the aspects. I loved it because of the performance side. I loved it because of the physique side, and it started to become a huge part of my life and who I was. So fast forward, I moved to the United States and I started working with a trainer. His name is Miles. He's out at 949 Volleyball Club, and he was a double sport athlete in football and volleyball at Stanford. Yes, you heard that right, Stanford. It was pretty awesome being able to work with him and learning from him, and the experiences that he gave me were amazing, phenomenal. It worked out in a way that I had never experienced before. There wasn't any weight training, and it was all about speed, power, and we used these really special resisted exercise, I guess, machines that they used wind and your own power output to go work against you. So the more power output that you put into it, the faster you moved, the more resistance you gained out of these machines. It was super awesome experience, and he was all about mobility and explosiveness and power and building strength within your body weight. So I got to learn a completely different way from what I was used to back at home in Cyprus. And being able to incorporate both of those in my workout regimen was phenomenal for my performance. It was awesome to be able to get the strength gains, but along with the mobility and the flexibility, and being strong in flexible movements and being elastically strong was something new to me, and I just fell in love with it. Then we get to college, obviously, started working out because I was forced to work out with the team, and I always had the passion for it. I loved working out. So we were working out with the team, and I was fortunate enough, my 5 years at UH, I got to work with 3 different trainers. So I am, at the age of 19, I have already worked with 6 or 7 different personal trainers, and all those experiences have kind of shaped my mindset and my way of thinking when it comes to working out now, which I think is awesome because you learn a lot from experience. Our first one was Nick, second one was Ryan, and our last one was Josh Elms. And all 3 of them were phenomenal. I loved all of them, and I love all of them for the experience that they gave us. And Nick, our first trainer, was pretty awesome because he grabbed us red shirts, and we had a couple extra workouts compared to the people that weren't redshirting, because we were allowed to kind of destroy our body a little more because we weren't expected to perform on the weekends because we weren't playing. So he took us through these crazy workouts on Friday, which were, I'm not going to say meathead workouts, but they were completely like, we're going to push the limits, we are going to fatigue on every exercise, and we're just going to grind it out together. And that was just so much fun to be able to do with all those guys that we were redshirting together and push each other. And I saw crazy results my freshman year. I got a lot bigger, I got a lot stronger, and it was super fun. I fell in love with lifting. But obviously I lifted for the performance side, and that's my whole college career was lifting for performance up until my junior year. I kind of decided I didn't have a crazy big role playing on the team, so I was like, you know what, it's time to focus on my career a little more. I want to focus on school. So focused on school more, didn't really work out, didn't really bother to work out extra, and I gained 35 pounds. And going into my senior year, I was like, do I want to be remembered as that person that came through college and was just another person on the team? I wasn't happy with what I managed to accomplish on the team, and I knew I could have done more. I knew I wanted to do more. So that summer starts a new workout journey and a reason of why I started working out. And that was to prove to myself that I am definitely a good volleyball player and that I am a lot more athletic than that junior James Anastasiades that I was. So I go home to Spokane, Washington, and I start researching. By the way, my bachelor's of science was in kinesiology, so I was studying this stuff. It was really awesome to be able to apply what I was learning in a setting, but also being able to research it. And when I say research it, I mean look up YouTube videos of the Lost Breed and be like, I want to be that guy. So I got a lot of workout inspirations from the Lost Breed. And then I obviously knew, because of my major, that working out is a huge part of being able to increase your performance, but when it comes to losing weight, a lot of it's your diet. So I researched at that time, okay, what's the best diet? How can I lose weight fast? And I came across the keto diet. And the keto diet was fairly new. It wasn't hyped up like it was nowadays. So I was like, I could eat fats, I could eat red meat, I could eat bacon in the morning, butter, eggs, all this good stuff. All you're saying is I have to give up bread, pasta, pretty much starches, carbs, all that kind of stuff. I was like, perfect, dude. I love barbecue. This is going to be easy. And I was like, what do you mean I could eat all this food and lose weight at the same time? Like, perfect. I'm all for it. So I dove head first into that. That summer, I did manage to lose 35 pounds. I was working out 2 times a day, and my off day was a 2-hour workout. So I spent a lot of my time in the gym, and if I wasn't in the gym, I was working at U District, shadowing Aaron LaHonta, a physical therapist there, because I wanted to become a physical therapist, and I was getting my hours in from my undergrad. I learned so much in that clinic. It was ridiculous, and I've actually shadowed there, and interned there, and I give as much time as I can whenever I'm home for the summers, because I do love to learn more about fitness and health and how we can move better as people. So obviously, I mean, I worked out. I went from close to 18% body fat to probably about 7, maybe 6. I lost 35 pounds that summer, and I was in the best shape of my life. I got 6.5 inches on my vert. I was the most athletic I had ever been. I was the fastest I had ever been. And I was like, I am loving this. Let's keep it going. So, get to school. I was 245, close to 250 pounds at the beginning of the summer. By the end of the summer, I dropped down to 211 when I got to school. Got a lot of comments from a lot of my friends, a lot of comments from a lot of people like, dude, you look so good. What was the secret? How did you do it? What was your workouts? What was your calories? What was your macros? I was like, what are calories and macros? I wasn't calculating all that. So now I'm getting all these comments and all this attention. I'm like, wow, this is cool. I like this, and I want to help a lot of people because that's just my personality. But now I have people asking for my macros and my calories. I was like, I didn't track any of that. I kind of just ate what I wanted because I knew I was going to burn it off because that's what keto said. So this is where I kind of fell in a pit. This is where I started counting my calories. I started counting my macros, and it just wasn't healthy. Something that I started, which working out, something that I started for myself and something that I wanted to improve on myself, became for other people. And it wasn't fun for me anymore. I went 2 years where I just wasn't as happy doing as what I was doing. I wouldn't say I was depressed, but I definitely wasn't happy. I wasn't happy working out, and something that I had a huge passion for completely fell off the grid, and I just lost my passion for it. Something that I had complete joy over turned into something that stressed me out 24/7, and it was a really, really tough 2 years of my life trying to balance all that. So working out started becoming for someone else. So one of the questions that I have here is, has why you work out changed throughout the years? So at that point, it did change. I didn't work out for my performance. I didn't work out for myself. I started working out to please other people. I started working out because I felt like I needed to be this image for other people. And I started working out to look like a bodybuilder. I wasn't doing it for performance, and it affected my career 100%. But that's why we're doing this podcast. I want to talk about fitness and the goods and bads of working out. So obviously I fell in a pit. I focused too much on my diet. My workouts were very bodybuilder-like and not workouts that an athlete should be going through, and proper mobility and explosiveness and all this kind of stuff. It was very seated. Biceps, triceps, chest, shoulders, just not bad stuff. It's great to work out like that. But for athletes, there's just better ways to work out as an athlete. And it affected my career, it affected my mental state, all this kind of stuff, and just the attention kind of got too much for me. And so for the past 3 or 4 months, I've actually taken a huge break from working out, from dieting. And when I say dieting, watching what I eat in quotations. Just because I needed that mental break for myself, and I needed to prove to myself, like, hey, you know what? You are a lot more than just an athlete. You are a lot more than just this person that works out. There's a lot more to life. So I needed that mental break so I could figure out that good balance between, and I can happily say that I feel great now. I'm going to start working out pretty soon again, and I'm super excited to share with you guys all the new things that I've learned and incorporated. I've worked on this online project that I've been doing, and I'm super excited to release it pretty soon. So any questions you guys have, I'm always open and I'm free. So that's why I work out. Now I work out for myself. And what I love about working out is it's one of the only things that we have in life anymore that you do it completely for yourself. When you're in the gym and you're pushing weight, there's no one there to push it for you. There's no one there giving you handouts. It's you doing your own work. And regardless if you're doing it for someone else or whatever you want to call it, you're the only one at the end of the day, you're the only one benefiting from working out, because you pushing weight is physiologically changing you. It's not changing the person next to you. The only nice thing about that, though, is what I hope to do from working out is also inspire people to work on themselves and actually do things for themselves. We live in a society where we're on constantly trying to people please and do all these different things that we forget to take care of ourselves and do things for ourselves. That's what I love about working out, is no matter why you do it, at the end of the day, you're working on yourself. You really are. There's goods and bads, like obviously being addicted to working out. That is a thing. I was addicted to working out and it stressed me out. And if I didn't work out, I felt like I was losing my mind and I wasn't going to be okay. Which is why I had to take that mental break from it to prove to myself, like, hey, a rest day is needed. If you take a week off of working out, you're not going to die and your physique isn't going to change crazy amounts. So you're fine. So finding that balance is also super important. The workout balance, the life balance, friends, social, everything. And that's what I hope with this podcast is, by talking things out, we can all come to this realization and help each other out and figure out, okay, we work out for this purpose, but this isn't who defines us. There's a lot more to us than working out, than being an athlete, than whatever it is. There's a lot more to you as a person. That's what I hope to share with all this. So my last two questions. Why did you choose to come to this podcast? I chose to start this podcast, like I said in the beginning, in hopes to bring people together and in hopes to share our stories. A lot of us think that our stories aren't important. A lot of us think that our stories aren't fascinating. But the truth is, everyone has a unique story, and I want to be the person to share each other's story with it. And I mean, the thing that's going to tie everyone together in this one is, hey, we all started working out for some kind of reason. So what's that reason? And the last question is, what advice do you have for someone that would like to start working out? My advice to you is get in the gym, pick up a weight, and just start working out. Chad Chambers, he told me, people try to make it a science nowadays. But at the end of the day, if you go into a gym and you pick up weight and you constantly pick it up, you're going to get stronger. It's that simple. I hate to say it. Obviously, there's a lot of science behind it, but when you're starting out and when you just want to learn how to work out, go in, pick up weight, you're going to be fine. So that's my advice for you. One question that I did skip is, where do we get our information from? And like I said, I did my Bachelor's of Science in Kinesiology. I did 1 year of my Master's in Athletic Training. I'm changing that to Master's in Kinesiology. I'm going to do a focus in how mental health, nutrition, and recovery are as relevant as working out. But also, I want to do a little bit of focus in biomechanics, because I will also work out because I want to be 60 years old still moving like I was at this age. And hopefully I look back on this video and I could say, hey, I did it. So that's where I get my information from. If you have any questions, if you want to be on this podcast, please feel free to reach out to me, DM me, email me, whatever it is. Let's get people on here. Let's share our stories. And I'm super excited to start this. I already have 4 people lined up that I'm very excited to film with this week. And stay tuned for a lot more. This was Why Do You Work Out Podcast, Episode 1, hosted by James Anastasiadis with James Anastasiadis. Hope to see you guys soon. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, please like, share, and follow on Instagram. And share this podcast with everyone that you know that has Spotify. We'll see you guys next week, and mahalo.